a big round of applause for that. There's a saying, you know, I'm friends with a lot of DJs around, and there's a saying that says the following: real DJs don't take requests. Are you with this or not?
It depends.
DJ, maybe please play the Lady Gaga song. Hey, you know the Lady Gaga song.
I've been in situations where I didn't want any requests because the vibe is right. The vibe is right. The people are going crazy. There's no reason you should talk to me. But I've been in situations where I've been in a smaller crowd and it was a more intimate setting, and your request actually made sense. So I'm gonna play your request or it's a request that I've never heard of this song before, but everybody else did. Like there's no DJ out there that knows every right song to play. It's impossible. So I've been in situations where it's worked for me and it hasn't worked for me. It just depends. Every situation is different.
So you're not with the statement like real DJs don't take requests.
No, I don't believe in that because I've learned some of my best songs that I play now because of requests. There's so much music out there right now that there's no way you should not take what someone else is asking you. And now I can say this, 80% of the time the request is a song you already were going to play or just some off the wall stuff that you're just like, really? You want me to play what?
Britney Spears, hit me.
You want me to play the best of Fergie right now? No. No, thank you.
Okay, so when it comes to, you know, I think everybody has this on their mind. When it comes to, you know, DJing for Chris Brown and many other celebrities, how does that feel? Like, do you have pressure when you actually, you know, getting to perform or being on Oprah's Winfrey show and all this stuff?
I never feel pressure. It's weird. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because when I'm DJing, I'm just in my own world, and it doesn't matter if I'm DJing for 5 people or 5,000 people. It's the same thing for me. So it's never a situation. The only time I get a little flustered, and you'll never see it if you're standing on the outside looking in, is when there's some technical difficulties. So if we're on stage and we're in a concert and someone knocks something out or something goes wrong, then that's when I actually do get nervous. But any other time, I don't get nervous at all.
When it comes to like, you have that entrepreneurship inside you. Like you said, there's Chris Brown there. You pushed 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then the 4th time would actually, you know, a budget. What do you tell the DJs out there who sadly don't have that kind of opportunity? You know, like I think you were lucky there. You know, there's a lot of luck there, and there's a lot of perseverance in what you did, being in the same room as Chris Brown.
I don't believe in luck. I don't think there's any such thing as luck. If you drop a dice, there's no luck in what number it falls on. There's a variable that makes it drop on something. The gravitational pull versus how much you push on it when it came, that will tell you what number it falls on. We're not going to know what that is because it's totally random, but that's not luck. So, I was telling my boy Moki, he's a DJ right there too, spins at White, so I'll let him for when White opens back up. Shout out to Moki. I was telling him earlier that we're just energy. That's all we are is energy. We're just a complex form of energy. And the vibes, that word vibes, is what we put off. That pretty much controls our destiny. And I've taken that concept and I've applied it to my career, and things happen. When you believe that, things happen.
DJ Babey, when it comes to production, so you do your own production as well?
Yes.
Tell us more about that. Like, how'd you get into your Grammy Award, you know, a producer?
One of my friends is he DJ'd for Nas back in the day, DJ LES. We used to talk a lot because he lived in Virginia. He lives in Virginia now. He said to me, I believe he won Grammys as well, but he's produced a lot of Nas stuff. He said to me, hey, you DJ for Chris, why don't you produce? And I was like, why don't I produce? I can play the keys. I know music, why don't I produce? So I started producing. I sucked at it really bad at first. I remember like maybe a year after I started producing, or probably even less, maybe like 6 months, Chris was like, you know, like make me some beats and give me a CD, like so we, you know, we stuff together. I was like, cool, I'm gonna make you some fire. I gave him a CD, and the music on the CD was bad. It was really bad. Like if I went back now and listened to it, I would be like, God. So that pretty much was the start of me producing. It takes years and years to pretty much get it. And I'm pretty much still learning today. And this is like 8, 9 years later. I'm still learning today.
Definitely, it's art. How do you do your digging? You know, for a DJ, digging is important. Digging means like finding out, you know, sounds and music. And let me just add to that. Do you play music from other parts of the world as well?
Oh yeah,
Africa.
Oh yeah. Especially in the States. Like I said, after that Craig David party, I changed my whole outlook on music and my style. So I was one of the very few DJs in America at the time when, before anyone knew who Hardwell was, before anybody knew who Chucky was, I was playing like that Amsterdam, Dutch house, Belgian sound that is like dominant in EDM today. I was playing that a long time ago because I was touring with Chris and I was in Amsterdam and I was hearing these sounds and I was like, holy hell. Now, had I been on top of my game back then, I would have done exactly what Diplo and Major Lazer are doing today. They took that sound and that European sound and that UK sound, put it all together and was like, yeah, this is the new thing. And now that whole sound of EDM in the US is based off of stuff Europe was doing years and years ago. So if you're onto something, you should definitely do something with it.
When it comes to DJs, there's a lot of people that use, the finals or these, pioneers. Is it a reflection of how real of a DJ you are if you use a vinyl instead of not using, for example, the pioneers one?
I have this saying that I can play on anything if I have to. Do I want to? No. Do I want to play on a CDJ? Absolutely not. I hate them. I don't love them.
You do? You don't like them?
No, I don't like them at all. I'm a turntablist. I like to scratch. I like to mix. It's the accuracy on the turntable, the way it feels. It's just
vibe.
It's like going from a real girl to a blow-up doll. It's like a real girl's always going to be better than a blow-up doll, right, fellas? Yeah. So that's what it's like to me. Like, you may put, it's
yeah. I mean, for me, like you said, plus it's authentic, right? It's that authenticity kind of.
It's not about the authentic. I embrace how technology evolves. And
yeah.
I embrace that a lot, and I really feel like anything that new that comes out, I want to be a part of it. It's just my accuracy on a turntable versus my accuracy on a CDJ is like night and day.
Wow. Yeah. When it comes to your career, is there that one moment that is like a highlight after all these years? Something you want to share with us? Maybe something as well that hasn't been shared on the media. Not a lot of people know about, but it's a highlight for you.
There's DJing is like almost like doing drugs. I don't do drugs, but I can imagine that if you do drugs, you always seek the newest high. So every situation that I've gone to, that I've done, and I was like, damn, this is my first time doing this. It's like, all right, that was cool, but now what's next? So I would say the highlight of my career is probably having the title as a Grammy Award-winning DJ. A lot of DJs don't get through their career with that title. So I think that's probably my biggest highlight to date.
Being a celebrity DJ, is it you get to meet a lot of celebrities, I understand. So like, who are some of the celebrities you've met, just for the people to know? Chris Brown.
I've toured with Beyonce. I'm good friends with Bonix, who is Wiz Khalifa's DJ, so I'm cool with Wiz Khalifa. I'm cool with Akon. Me and Rihanna used to talk all night, some nights. I opened up for Diddy and 50, and a DJ for Lil Wayne during the Carter 3 album. I DJ for Kelly Rowland. I DJ Kendall and Kylie Jenner's Sweet 16 birthday parties and a couple of other Kardashian stuff. The list goes on. There's tons of things. It's just always what else can I do? What else? After I do one thing, it's like, what else?
What kind of hip hop are you into?
Hip hop?
Yeah. Like when you say hip hop, even now, or there's this trap, new school hip hop, and there's of course the old authentic kind of hip hop. Like what are you?
I love music. Doesn't matter what genre of music, I love music. However, if it's not musical to me, if I don't hear anything lyrical in it, if I don't hear a crazy beat, behind it and some production, or if anything was original or creative about it, I'm probably not gonna like it. So I don't like a lot of the hip hop that's out today because of that, or I should say rap. Some of the more hip hop stuff, the difference is the difference. The little hip hop stuff I appreciate because of that reason. Like lyrically, I hear it and it's like, but because hip hop has taken such a turn to me creatively, I don't even really deal with much rap stuff anymore. I do a lot of rap in my sets, but I'm more electronic now because the energy level is just different. You stand in front of an electronic crowd and you play a song, everyone's just vibing. The song has a build, it has a drop, and by the time the drop comes, the whole place is erupted. And as a DJ, you need that feedback. You need that it's like doing it to a girl and she's not making any noise. That's what hip hop's like to me right now.
Wow. What? Really?
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Okay.
Especially
in the States.
People like designer.
To be fair, in the States, when you come to overseas, when you come to Dubai, when you go to Europe, the hip hop vibe is a lot different. They dance more to music. They react more. I live in Atlanta. If you ever go to a club in Atlanta, it is boring. A hip hop club. It is boring. And this is just my opinion. It is boring. Everyone's just standing around. The music's playing. No one's dancing. People are standing on the couch with a bottle of champagne. And they're like, that was crazy. It was a movie. And I'm leaving there like, no, it was not. It was not good at all. And when I first moved to Atlanta, I was doing some of the hip hop stuff. And I would leave feeling unsatisfied. And I was just like, I can't do this. I will not do it. If I'm not satisfied, at the end of the day, I don't do this for money. Of course, money is what pays the bills and feeds my kids, but I don't do this for money. And I never did it for money. So if it doesn't feel right to me, then there's no reason I should do it.
Who are some of the DJs that inspired you as
a New Yorker, growing up, Funkmaster Flex, Red Alert.
Yes.
Stone Love, I'm from Jamaica, so Stone Love sound was always a big deal to me. Kilimanjaro, Spin Bad, one of my favorite DJs of all time. Revolution, Jazzy Jeff. And now I'm inspired by even some of the guys who are less technical. Like I'm inspired by Diplo's and Calvin Harris's because they've taken something that was done and took it to the next level. And they're changing the ratio and the perspective of the DJ/artist. So we need a balance of both because it needs to be respected evenly.
What's your knowledge about the DJs in the Middle East? Do you have any sort of knowledge, like
I'm pretty much cool with almost every DJ here in Dubai.
Nice.
I've been coming here for probably 8 years now? It's been a while. I've been coming here. And I'm cool with pretty much everybody here. It's like, this is almost like a second home to me because it's beautiful. I come here and just everyone shows up.
Yeah, I'm saying that because, okay, so as a DJ from Dubai, again, I'm being the devil's advocate, do you think they should push local talent in Dubai? Because let me tell you, a friend of mine who's a DJ, he's playing in a club, and he has a friend of his who's an artist, gives him a USB to play that banging track, really dope. And he's telling me the story. So when he put the USB and started to, actually put the song, the whole dance floor stopped. Looked at him in a way like, what the hell are you doing? So he said to me, I don't want to destroy my image to the people. And I said, but yo, it's your somehow a duty somehow as a DJ to as well push local talent. As long as it's dope, of course.
Here's the thing, it doesn't matter how dope a song is, if no one has heard it before, psychologically they can't react to it. So I don't care how good of a song you play, that if it's a song you never heard before, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to dance to it. Unless it's on a beat that's already popular.
Interesting you say that. So the people mainly dance to vibes that they heard before.
Yeah, it's called nostalgia. There's a word for it. It's like you hear a song, you're like, oh man, this song just does something to me emotionally. Every time I hear it, it makes me feel good. I like the lyrics. So when you play a song, it automatically just makes you do something.
Have you ever introduced a new song in a club?
Yeah.
Like say, this is the latest jam, ladies and gentlemen, blah, blah.
I have. And there's a way to do it. No one's going to really dance to it, but if you present it to them in a way that says, hey, you need to know what this is, it's brand new. There's some songs that just naturally have a vibe to it. And there's some songs that like I said, 9 times out of 10, if you play a new song, you're not going to get a reaction out of it.
A couple more questions from me, but then I want you guys to ask questions. So prepare them. In radio, do you think being played on the radio now is as important as being before for artists?
No.
100%, right?
No. I think getting the youth involved in your movement on the internet, on social media, is more important than being on the radio. Because now you have these artists who have #1 songs on the radio, but if you send them to a stadium to do a show,
0 people show.
not 0, but maybe a couple thousand. Then you have these artists like Little Yachty and Little Uzi Ebert, or I don't even know how to say his name. You have these guys who literally can sell out a tour all over the world. They have no songs on the radio.
Why is that?
It's just the way it is now. It's just social media. Like Justin Bieber, for instance, he's just now starting to get #1 records. But when Justin Bieber first came out, the first like 5 years of his career, he never had a song on the radio. He never had a hit record on the radio. He just had like B and C-list songs. So it's just now that he linked up with like Major Lazer, Diplo, Skrillex and all that, he's getting the recognition he needs. But before that, he didn't have that.
So for artists out there, you don't need to be on the radio to
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Amazing, man. This is like really dope. I have a couple more questions about keeping it to the end. Any questions from you guys, please? This is a guy with a lot of knowledge, you know, drill him with questions. So I'll come to you with a microphone.
Yeah, let me have it.
Come on. Questions? Yes, over there. All right.
Hi. So I just have one question. So, you know platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo?
Yeah.
How do you think these platforms are like, you know, helping these indie musicians? You know, there's been some Grammy Award winners as well from that have been successfully raised their what do you call it? Their identity on platforms like Kickstarter. So what do you think the future of these platforms are, and how it will affect, you know, like musicians like yourself?
I would have never thought of doing something on Kickstarter. That's actually the first time that I've heard that artists have gotten successful from Kickstarter. It makes perfect sense because in order to make things good, you need money. So if you don't have money, then and that's a perfect opportunity for your friends who supposedly support you or who's supposed to support you to donate their money to you to make your situation successful. So I definitely encourage that. A lot of your friends will support a perfect stranger before they support you. And that's kind of how you have to present it to them. Like, hey, if I'm your friend, you're supporting these people, like, you gotta support me too. The way to put music out there and make sure it's taken seriously is to make sure you always have it mixed and mastered. If you give someone something straight out of your studio, it's never gonna sound as good as when it's mixed and mastered. And you're gonna need money to do that. Like, you're not just gonna know how to do that by yourself without taking years and years of experience. So you have to pay someone to do that. So along with that and like good PR, you need money for all that stuff. So studio time. So I encourage that. Definitely encourage that.
I have a few questions. Well, the first one is, so you're huge in the U.S., but where else in the world is next? Where are you getting the most work? What region of the world is all over you right now hiring you?
I'm luckily and fortunately enough to be in a lot of places. Like I've toured Australia, I've toured Africa, I do Europe a lot. I'm in some French-speaking place like 7-8 times a year, and I can't speak a lick of French, which I learned Spanish in schools back when I learned French, but there's a lot of places, it just depends. What I want to do is start combining other genres of music in the States. So like the Afrobeat movement is huge in the States right now. I want to start producing my own Afrobeat music, and in the Caribbean, I have a good name in the Caribbean because I worked with a lot of Caribbean artists. This song that I won a Grammy for was with Bungie Garland, he's from Trinidad. My new song with him is coming out soon. So yeah, those are some of the regions.
So as a DJ and as a music expert, you know a lot of independent artists in the community. You do a lot of research. My question to you is, who do you recommend is someone that you think is going to be really big by next year or in a couple of years? Who is someone that you're really feeling that no one in this room knows that you think is going to be like the next hot shit?
It's a good question. Great question. I don't know. I don't know. I've been really checking for Yellow Claw for a minute before like they were even with Matt Easton or any of that stuff. So I really believe that Yellow Claw I think they're out of Belgium. I really feel like they're gonna be like they're gonna get to like the Diplo and the Skrillex status eventually because they're innovative, their sound is crazy. They get it. Whatever it is, they get it. And I really check for them hard.
Also, another question. When it comes to the business side, like looking after yourself, what advice do you advise people when it comes to your journey? Because in this industry, it's very cutthroat, and you need to look after yourself and have contracts in place. So, what's the advice you want to give to everyone in the room?
Here's a big thing. Set hours for yourself every day. Because as a musician, as a DJ, you don't have to report to anybody but yourself. So that makes you lazy. If you're a lazy person naturally, you can just not do anything. But if you set hours and you say, I have to do something productive every single day from this time to this time, or for at least this amount of time for the day, then you'll be surprised how much you grow because of that. Because a lot of times you wake up and you're like, damn, I don't want to do anything today. But you have to.
I'll have more questions if no one else has, but...
There we go. Anybody questions? Cool. All right.
Honey,
How are you?
what's up?
Not much. I have a question.
Okay.
You said something about social media, and there's a lot of artists on social media, and they grow their following through that platform. So you have a lot of people who are buying followers and buying likes. So how do you differentiate between an artist who is organically growing their following and an artist that's actually paying for followers and likes, as someone that, you know, maybe doesn't know so much about this person's market or this person's genre?
Right. Well, I don't think you can buy followers on Instagram anymore. I know they stopped that like a couple of years ago, right? That was... Oh, you can?
It's debatable. You can still get.
It always... People do it because it makes them look better. On my Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page, which I took for granted for a long time, I actually pay for ads now. It doesn't give you likes, but it gives you exposure, and then you get likes from the exposure.
Yeah, that's like it's like a boost.
It's like a boost, yeah. So I do boosts sometimes from time to time on it. I don't know about I wouldn't buy. I'd rather organically build any following that I have.
Yeah.
It's better to have real followers than to have fake followers for the sake of your music, because if you're pushing your music to a bunch of ghosts, then who's going to really support you?
Yeah.
And the thing I noticed too, record labels don't care about that anymore. Like a lot of the artists that are out there that are touring all over the place, a lot of them don't have a lot of followers. And I'm talking about in the electronic world. You'll have like artists that sell out their own tours with 40,000 followers. Like, how is that possible? So I don't think it's as important as it was a few years ago.
Yeah. Now, to answer your question a little bit too, like, imagine there's this YouTube video that has 1 million hits, right? And there's only 10 likes. That's how you can tell.
Yep.
It's something, and 5 comments.
Right.
This is really weird, you know? So like this.
Yeah, but same on Instagram.
And then it all shows in the concert.
Yeah, exactly.
They come
So, I just had a quick question. I don't know if you're familiar with the group The Knox.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Oh, yeah. They're my boys from back in the day. And so they just recently signed a major label contract. They've been at it for years, and he's trying to start his own label. I was just curious, so how do you keep the balance between signing with like a big record label and, you know, having a small time on that? I guess, how do you keep that balance?
I've never signed with a label, so I don't know. I can only assume from what I've seen. Signing with a label is not always a good thing. You actually have some artists, like Drake, for instance. Drake stayed away from labels for as long as he possibly could until the deal was right. So a lot of the time, labels nowadays aren't giving you a total record deal. They're giving you like a single deal. So it just depends. Every situation is different. I wouldn't sign with a label unless it makes sense. Or I would sign for just a single, because that helps a lot too. Because they'll push that single and they'll see basically how it goes, and you're not like stuck with that label. Because a label will sign you and then literally say, you know what, we don't really like you. And they'll just sit on you, and contractually you can't do anything else. So I would definitely go for single deals over full-time record deals. A lot of people have this vision like, once I get signed, it's it. No, it's just a piece of paper, that's it. Once people start buying your albums, that's when.
Wow. Any more questions? I think we have room for 2 more questions. You got a question? Because I have a question, so let's go with you.
Who's an art music artist that you'd want to really work with, that you just want to track with so badly?
Michael Jackson.
Oh man, of course.
Can't do that now though. But Michael Jackson. But no, aside from Michael Jackson, like living, probably Chronix. Chronix is a reggae artist out of Jamaica. To me, he's like the newest Bob Marley to me. I love his music. Everything he puts out is crazy. And he's open-minded when it comes to music, because he's done songs with like Major Lazer, and so he gets it, and he's in 2016.
But again, see what you just said right now. For example, a guy like you know this artist, you come to Dubai, you play his music. That somehow for me is a duty, because you know, like he's from Jamaica too. So like it's a duty for you to explain. Now everybody didn't vibrate, you know, whatever. But for me, I think it's a DJ's duty to introduce us to music, right? Especially in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You know, so a couple of questions for you, and we'll wrap this up. Would you play Middle Eastern tracks in a US club?
Absolutely. I've been looking for one to play.
There's a lot
in the States that just something that I can mix right in, that no one will know that like this doesn't belong.
Yeah.
So like I try to do that stuff all the time.
Because what's happening here, there's a lot of copy paste, I feel, especially in radio. We as artists, the artists here, especially the young ones, try to take what's going on in America and copy it here.
Yeah.
I think Americans and Europeans and they're trying to see who we are, like as adults. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, we can take the culture, for example, hip hop, and do it. So would you play an Arabic hip hop track on one of your gigs?
Probably not an Arab hip hop track.
Yeah.
I would play more of something
international,
more like even like kind of like a twerk kind of feel.
Yeah.
I would do more of that, because you can mix those in, and no one will be like, "What the hell are you doing?" If I play a Middle Eastern where he's speaking another language, then
that's an issue.
That's going to make the whole crowd look at you.
Especially
what
with
that.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the Donald Trump thing?
On Donald Trump?
Since we're talking about it.
I think he's smart. I think he's smart. I don't think he's really like that in real life. This is my opinion. I don't think he's as dumb as he's seeming. This is the age of social media where you do things to get a reaction, and people are eating it up. Whether you like him or not, he's what everyone's talking about right now. So.
Man, what keeps DJ Babey Drew going?
What keeps me going? A natural love for just music and making people happy through music. That's what keeps me going. If money was taken away from this whole situation, I would still DJ for free.
Your social media links for people to follow you.
My social media is on Instagram, it's Babey Drew. On Twitter, it's DJ Babey Drew. Everything else, just Google Babey Drew. It's spelled weird. I don't know why. But
no, he's Googleable. I can tell you that. Just put Babey Drew. Any last words for our audience there?
Making it, or you're not there yet, just keep going. Study, study, study. Because if you don't have the knowledge, you're not going to get to the next level without the knowledge. So it's every day is a learning thing. No matter how long you've been doing this, I learn something every single day. You can learn from a good DJ, and you can learn from a bad DJ. You can learn from a good singer, you can learn from a bad singer. Just keep learning. And that's what makes it fun.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Babey Drew in the building.
Thank you.